before, and nothing really happened different. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says when you come to God, He says, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord. He will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for He will abundantly pardon. When Zacchaeus invited Jesus into his heart, and into his life, into his home, he made a radical break with his past. And we see it here in verse 8. I'm giving half, I'm going to do the board. He didn't have to do that. But he said that's the right thing to do. And even beyond that, he says, if I cheat anybody at all, I'm going to give back 4 times the amount. And I'll talk about how to get it a little bit later. He said, I want to make restitution. If I cheat anybody, I'm going to go back everywhere I can and make things right. I'm going to tell you what, everybody in Jericho pretty soon was going to know Zacchaeus wasn't the same person he was before. Something different had happened. You know what? Zacchaeus is a challenge and a condemnation, I think, to us in many ways. How many people really know the difference that Christ has made in our lives? When we go out of this church into the mission field, like Sherry said, can they see the difference that Christ has made? We're not the same people we used to be. Because we're a Christian, because we've confessed Christ. It made a change in our life. We changed our lifestyle. It changed what we say. It changed where we go. It changes what we do. The people that we go to school with, or we work next to, or we live next to. Can they tell the difference between us now as a Christian than before we claimed to be a Christian? Listen, people are going to watch that. People want to know if our walk matches our talk. But that's not something to be scared of. It's an opportunity, just like we saw the other day, to show people what Christ can really do and how He can change our lives and how He can make us different than the world around us. But if you're not really willing to do that, don't profess it. Because you're not going to be able to hide it very long. Hypocrisy always comes through. I heard a kind of funny and a sad story at the same time about a lady who was really, she professed to be very pious and very holy, but everybody in the church really knew she wasn't. But when church was going on, she would testify, or she would go to the altar, or she'd do this, that, and the other, but people knew that she didn't really live very well. So one Sunday during the Bible service, they had the altar service, and she was out front, and she was just praying real loud, "Oh God, fill me with your Spirit. Oh God, fill me with your Spirit. Oh God, fill me with your Spirit." And the lady on the first row said, "Don't do it, God, she leaks." And I think, unfortunately, that's what happens. People are going to know. But when Zacchaeus got right with God, he was going to make amends. He was going to do what he had to do. We call this term restitution. There's that story in there? If I cheated anybody, I'm going to give back 4 times what I had to do. Now, that was beyond the law. The law was read to us in Leviticus chapter 6. Jewish law actually said, unless you rob somebody deliberately and involve violence, that's the only time you had to pay back 4-fold. But Zacchaeus was going to go beyond what the law demanded, because he wanted to change the person, and he wanted to show he was different. I'm going to stop preaching and start meddling here, okay? We holiness people, if you've been in church long enough, it used to be, if you didn't get your toe stamped on, the preacher hadn't done his job anyway, right? That's what our responsibility is. There's lots of things we've all done in our lives that we're sorry for. If we could go back and do it over again, we'd undo it. And there's some things that have happened back there we just can't make right. That's just the way it is. But I'm wondering today, as we sit here and think, are there things that we should go back and make right? Are the things we said, or the things we did, is there thoughts we've had, or is there hurts that we've done? Maybe we confess them to God and ask God to forgive us. And I believe that He will. But I wonder, do we need to go ask somebody else to forgive us? And tell them we're sorry. And make restitution. And get our conscience clear. And get it off of us. That's not easy. I'm not even beginning to pretend that it's easy. And I think that's probably why you don't hear it talked about very much anymore. And you don't hear it preached about very much anymore. But all I'm saying is, when God really makes a difference in our lives, it should make a difference. And if all we do is cover it up and throw dirt over it, I'm not sure it's made a real difference. It should make a change. I read something again a while back, and it's kind of interesting. This is the Billy Graham Association. It was just a little article on something about how much money